Howdy, howdy, Jordan Sheridan, live Status Coup. It is Thursday, October the 16th, the year 2025, in the United Corporations of America, which by my upside down flag, I hope you know, is in serious distress. So much so that that flag is probably going to come down during this live stream because it keeps coming down, which is a whole nother story. Please smash that like button, share that live stream. Let me retweet this on the Twitter since we don't have a big staff and I got to do a couple things at once usually. I apologize in advance. If I am a little more incoherent than normal today. For those of you that watched yesterday, I mentioned that I haven't been sleeping much at all over the last month or so. Not to bore you with the details, but my son is almost 6 months old. Obviously, a newborn, first month or two, you don't expect to sleep. That was fine. Then he started sleeping through the night, but he has regressed over the last month or so. He's got a tongue tie, which I guess is an issue a lot of infants have that's restricting his ability to eat. So he's not eating enough during the day. So therefore, he's waking up at 2:30 in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, 3:30 in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. He eats a little bit and then falls asleep. I put him down and then he's up 20 minutes later. And it's like that basically from anywhere from 2:30 to 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm basically not sleeping, trying to let my wife sleep because she's doing a lot of the childcare during the day. And then I wake up my daughter to get her ready for school. So needless to say, doing my best. But if you hear a few stumbles, it's because I'm on no sleep for over a month. Fortunately, we have a doctor's appointment for him on Monday and hoping to get some answers. I digress. I don't have it as bad as the people in Gaza or the Americans being terrorized by the fascist president of the country, Donald Trump. So smash that like button, share this live stream. It's just me today. No Colin. He's doing some other stuff for us. So I will be playing the videos and all that, which also could be a disaster. So stick with me, folks. But I just want to give a brief update here on State of the Coup. Hold on. State of the Coup. We are up 25,000 subscribers in just halfway through October. Let me repeat. We're up 25,000 subscribers halfway through October. And we are up nearly 400 paid members, which is the lifeblood of Status Coup. We cannot be on the ground, which we were on the ground for nearly 3 weeks in Chicago, which cost over $6,000 between our reporter, JT, our cameraman, John, flights, hotels, car, gas, food. We had to get John and JT both safety equipment because the police are tear gassing reporters and cameramen and protesters. We had to get them a lot of different safety equipment for the tear gas, for the stun grenades. That costs a lot of money, the safety equipment. Obviously, we're happy to do it because we want our reporters, our cameramen, everyone as safe as can be. But needless to say, actual on-the-ground reporting costs a lot of money. So thank you to the nearly 400 of you who have signed up as paid members to support this reporting. I'm going to be on the ground Saturday for the big No King's Day protests that are happening all across this country. I will be in New York City live from big march there. JT is going to be, we believe he's actually going to be in Omaha, Nebraska. I'll tell you more about that a little bit later. And we are trying to get back on the ground either to Chicago or another city to cover more of this deranged, criminal, I think, fascist president invading sovereign states and cities for no reason at all. So I am going to push you to sign up today. Yesterday, we got 30 paid signups. We want to continue pushing while we're surging, pushing folks to sign up as paid members, because the more people that sign up as paid members, the more we can continue being on the ground. We believe in walking the walk, not talking. There's a lot of outlets out there yapping, asking you for money, and they're just sitting in a studio. There's not a lot that are actually out there in the trenches like us. It is exhausting to be out there for weeks on end. John was away our cameraman was away from his daughter for nearly 3 weeks. He had to go back to see her. We're going to try to send him back on the road soon. JT has a newborn daughter. He was out there on and off for 2 weeks. And I will be back out there. I'm just, as I told you, dealing with issues with my infant, and I don't want to leave my wife stuck with the infant and my toddler and these issues, but I'll be back out there soon. Okay. And I will shout you out as people sign up today. So please consider signing up, and please, super chats appreciated as well as signing up as members. So we're going to get to what I think is absolutely batshit things. And that's, Trump says batshit things every day. But the things that Trump has said yesterday and today are literally on camera admitting to crimes. Let me repeat. He is on camera admitting to crimes before he does them. And nothing's being done about it. He's admitting to, I'm going to get involved going after my political opponents. Illegal. He's admitting to, we are very likely going to try to assassinate the president of Venezuela. Illegal. He's admitting to sending the ICE and National Guard into democratic states. Illegal. He's admitting to, I'm losing track. There's so many things. He is admitting to, I'll show you the clips and get to it. Like I said, I haven't slept. But I want to start with an update on Chicago. Like I said, we have been there on the ground for 3 weeks. Even though John came back, we actually have a freelancer out there covering things for us. So you will have continued coverage. Even if we're not live, we do have freelancers there because we want to stay on it. A judge today, which sounds good, but I'm pretty ticked off, frankly, at this nonsense. A judge today ruled that essentially ICE and the National Guard have blown off her order from last week. Now, as I've always said, we don't really have a fair judicial system in this country, even before Donald Trump. There's basically 3 different rules of law in this country, one for rich white people, one for what's left of the working class and middle class, and one for black, brown, and indigenous people. But now, essentially, the law only applies to working people and minorities. Everybody else could do whatever the fuck they want. And if the president and his administration disobey a judge's order, apparently there's no penalty. That's what we are seeing over and over. No penalty. So let me read you this. If you remember, while we were on the ground last week, news broke in Chicago, we were on the ground, that a judge had barred ICE, Border Patrol from unleashing tear gas on journalists. Our cameraman, our reporter have been tear gassed out there multiple times. And tear gas, it's thrown around in news stories as if it's normal. Tear gas was banned in war after World War I. You cannot use it based on international law because it's a chemical weapon. Somehow it's allowed. The police could use it on unarmed protesters, and now Border Patrol and ICE can use it, including on newborn babies, which we did a video on yesterday, which I'm going to show you the clip of in a little bit. So a judge ruled ICE, Border Patrol have to stop unleashing tear gas on unarmed protesters and journalists, have to stop launching projectiles at unarmed protesters and journalists. And how did ICE and Border Patrol react? Said, fuck you, we're going to keep doing it. Let me show you. This is before the judge's ruling today. Let me show you what we covered yesterday. This was a report from our JT Siskowski, a new reporter that we recently hired, thanks to you supporting us, Status Coup paid members. Hint, hint, statuscoup.com/join. But this was a scene from Tuesday in a southeast neighborhood in Chicago. Majority Hispanic. Let me repeat, majority Hispanic, because that's where ICE and Border Patrol are going. They're just terrorizing random neighborhoods, Hispanic neighborhoods. They are launching tear gas, and a newborn baby was caught up in it. Let's show you this.
Herman, get back! Alma. Where is she at? I don't know.
Put the baby in the house, and we tried to freeze that moment. I don't know how old that baby was. Looks like it couldn't be older than a few months. For all I know, it's just out of the hospital. I have no idea. Do you know that a baby could have long-term damage or die from tear gas exposure? I'm just going to read this to you. This is from a health site online. Fetuses, infants, and children after tear gas exposure. Fetuses, infants, and children may be susceptible to chemical pollutants. There was an old case in 1972 of a 4-month-old infant who developed pneumonitis following a prolonged exposure of tear gas. There are limited data on the effects of acute exposure to tear gas during pregnancy. Environmental exposures and biological considerations of children in relation to chemical pollutants are necessary. The American Academy of Pediatrics issued a statement in response to tear gas being used against children at the U.S. border in November and remarks that the use of tear gas on children threatens their short-term and long-term health, and states that children are uniquely vulnerable to physiological effects of toxic chemical agents. Compared with an adult, a child's smaller size, more frequent breaths, and limited cardiovascular stress response magnifies the harm of toxic agents such as tear gas. Let me translate that for you, folks. You could permanently fuck up. You could permanently fuck up a child from tear gas. But they're launching tear gas in this Hispanic community. When I say them, ICE, Border Patrol, children, elders, let's not forget the animals that live in these communities. I would agree. They are domestic terrorists. Thank you. For what reason? Because Stephen Miller, Donald Trump's sidekick and modern-day Joseph Goebbels, hates brown people and wants to gin up white supremacists and neo-fascists to think the country has been invaded while the president steals your Medicaid, steals your food programs, steals your money and gives it to rich people in the form of tax cuts, steals your money and gives it to corporations in the form of tax cuts, steals your money and gives it to the president of Argentina. That 20 billion bailout is now going up to 40 billion we're giving to Argentina while we tear gas babies. So you would think, since a federal judge ordered ICE and Border Patrol to stop tear gassing protesters, journalists, you would think some people would be held in contempt. That's usually what happens when you violate a judge's order. Typically, when you violate a judge's order, you get held in contempt. Well, apparently not anymore. Held in contempt meaning you go to jail, whoever was involved with violating the judge's order. If it was a working person, a minority, and we violated a judge's order, they would throw away the goddamn key. ICE, Border Patrol, this is how the judge responded today to this blatant violation of her order. U.S. District Judge Sarah Ellis took the bench in this lawsuit over the use of force against ICE protesters in Chicago. I'm going to read you this thread. The judge wrote, "I live in Chicago, if folks haven't noticed, and I'm not blind. I tend to get the news." She says she's having, quote, serious concerns about whether her order is being followed. Oh, are you having serious concerns? If your order is being followed? Do you have eyes? Your order is being violated. The Trump administration is illegally disobeying judges' orders. Can you imagine if a Republican judge ordered anything? And Obama, Biden, who frankly I'm no fan of either of them. If you're new to this channel, we are not Dem headquarters over here. I think they're all corrupt. The Democrats are corrupt and the Republicans are corrupt. Right now, we got to point out the Republicans because they're fucking fascist lunatics. But we're not going to let the Democrats off the hook. If a Democratic president just blew off court orders, the Republicans would not only be calling for impeachment, they would be calling to put the Democratic president in prison. Put all of the cabinet involved in disobeying the judge's orders in prison. Here, it's just been normalized. And a judge says, well, I have serious concerns that they're violating my order. Well, do you? Well, if they're violating your order, they're laughing at your order. This is fascism. They are not only disobeying your order, it's not even, there's no gray area. They are 100% disobeying you. Let me read more of this. The judge said, on Monday, I want the field director of ICE here. And the field director is going to explain to me why I am seeing images of tear gas being deployed and reading reports that there were no warnings given before it was deployed. Well, if your order was not to deploy tear gas, then why do you want to know if there were no warnings? They're not supposed to give warnings because they're not supposed to do it, according to your ruling. Judge Ellish also says she's modifying her order to add that, quote, all agents who are operating in Operation Midway Blitz are to wear body-worn cameras and they are to be on. Ellis, quote, I'm not happy. I'm really not happy. So let me get this straight for the good judge here. And welcome, new Status Coup member just signed up. Cora, new Status Coup member. And if you just came late to this, folks, I am not beyond begging the people. We are up 25,000 YouTube subscribers already this month, and it's only halfway into the month. That is a huge, huge surge for us. We typically don't grow like that. We are also up nearly 400 paid members. Your paid membership is not going to me. It's not going so I could buy a mansion. It's going so we could stay on the ground. I, who lead Status Coup, I'm the lead reporter and have CEO, which I don't throw around that much. I take less than a lot of other people so we could have a staff because we don't have corporate funding and we don't have a massive investor and we don't have massive sponsorships from big companies. And I'm not making $8,000 a month from whoever those podcasters were taking $8,000 a month, those Democratic aligned groups. So our funding comes from you. So if you have just $5 a month, statuscoup.com/join. But can I just say, and it's not only this judge, I'm just pointing out this judge because this is her order. If they already violated your order on deploying tear gas and you're not going to put anyone in jail for it, you're going to say, I want you to come into my office and explain to me how this happened. It happened because they're fascists and they don't believe in the rule of law because they make it up as they go along. And they have a Supreme Court to mangle and twist the rule of law for them. So what is bringing in the field director to explain it to you going to do? You need to hold the head of ICE and the head of Department of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, in contempt of your ruling and drag them into jail. That's what's supposed to happen according to the law. So now we get to the body cameras. Well, great that you're going to do body cameras. But if you're already not doing anything about them illegally violating your order on the tear gas, what makes you think they're going to follow the body camera order? And if they don't wear body cameras, or they do, but oops, don't have them on, like a lot of police around the country are supposed to be wearing body cameras, but oops, they forgot to put it on and they don't go to jail. What makes you think they're going to follow your orders if there's no criminal threat, criminal punishment? Am I in the twilight zone here? I mean, yes, the focus needs to be on ICE. The focus needs to be on the out-of-control border control agents, which they are also illegally operating in Chicago. Border Patrol is not supposed to operate beyond 100 miles away from a border. I didn't do well in school, but I could tell you Chicago's nowhere near an international border. So Border Patrol is illegally there. The judge ruling is being violated illegally. She ain't doing a damn thing. Hey, I have serious concerns, so you're going to come in on Monday and explain it to me. And nothing's going to happen after that. And they're not going to wear body cameras. This is how fascism thrives, expands, and gets more violent. I also want to update you on Chicago that in a separate ruling, the controversial illegal security fence that was not supposed to be put up in the first place, the illegal security fence that ICE Border Patrol put up outside the Broadview Detention Center, which we were there for 3 weeks. We covered them shooting through that security fence. Finally, they took that down. Controversial security fence around Broadview ICE facility comes down shortly ahead of court order deadline. Bowing to a court order deadline, crews tore down the controversial security fence constructed around the U.S. Immigration ICE detention center. The clock had been ticking for the government to take down the fence after a federal judge last week ordered the Trump administration to remove it. The Tribune observed that the fence had been taken down as of 11 o'clock. Okay, so they followed one ruling. But I want to show you, and I'm going to show you a lot of clips because we have a lot of new subscribers who might have not seen our on-the-ground reporting over the last 3 weeks. As far as I know, we are the only independent outlet, national independent outlet that has been on the ground there basically since the beginning of this invasion. We have wiped the floor with the national media and, frankly, most Chicago outlets, thanks to our incredible reporter, John Farina, who should have won multiple awards for his work on January 6th. He's the one who got that amazing footage of the cop's head rammed into the door on January 6th, crushed by the Trump mob. That was our cameraman, John, and our new reporter, JT. They're the ones that have gotten this great reporting and great footage. But I want to show you through that illegal security fence that they were not supposed to have up in the first place. They shot a photographer. They opened up like rapid fire target practice on a photographer, Zach Hussein, who was nice enough to send me the footage, which we paid him for. I interviewed him. If you didn't see this, look at how they shoot at a photographer. Pepper balls, which can injure you. Look at how many pepper balls they shoot at a photographer through this illegal fence. This was last week for the crime of taking the stormtrooper's picture.
Hey, come into that. Hey, chill out.
What is it? Losers! Losers! Get a real job!
Pussies! Shame on you!
Stop stealing our tax money!
Losers! Weaklings!
Shame on you! Shame! Fuck you guys!
Cowards!
Shame on you!
Shame! You're fascist!
Shame on you!
Oh my God! Oh my
You
God!
fuckers! Shame on you! These innocent people, you fucking pussies! Because you're a disgrace to everything this country stands for! Fucking cowards!
That was through the illegal fence. I mean, there's just so many illegal things happening, and there doesn't seem to be any penalty. None of those ICE agents are going to go to jail. They could have injured him. They could have done much worse than injure him. And I interviewed that photographer who was shot at. He said about 15 times by multiple agents for the crime of taking pictures, which is not illegal in this country. He said he's Palestinian, and he was in the West Bank, I believe a year ago. He said literally how ICE and Border Patrol operating is exactly exactly how he saw the IDF operating. Just open season on anyone. In the case of the West Bank, Palestinian children, Palestinian anybody, shooting them unprovoked, shooting them to kill, and here, shooting journalists. And by the way, this idea that the media puts, oh, it's just rubber bullets or less lethal. Rubber bullets, if you get hit with a rubber bullet at point blank range, you could die. I saw somebody at Standing Rock about a decade ago when I reported there on the ground. He got hit by a rubber bullet right in his forehead. It looked like his scalp almost came off. I do not know what happened to him. Stun grenades, which they are launching within a few feet of people. At Standing Rock, a 21-year-old woman got hit by a stun grenade by the North Dakota Oil Police because they were there protecting the oil company back in 2016. At Standing Rock, she almost had to have her arm amputated. They had to take parts of her hip and her leg to make essentially a fake arm. 21-year-old Sophia Wolanski, if you remember back in the day from Standing Rock. So they are shooting through, erecting illegal fences, shooting through those illegal fences. They're also shooting the pepper balls and the rubber bullets from sniper positions on the top of the ICE detention center at unarmed people who are just standing there. The worst I saw was, some protesters like threw water bottles or something at cops. And those protesters doing that, they're taking the risk of getting arrested. But they're not shooting at police. Oh my God, these the MAGA tough guys out there have become such snowflakes if you even take their picture. And by the way, the illegally positioned Border Patrol. And I don't even know, frankly, I think it's very blurry if even what ICE is doing is legal in Chicago and other places. Remember to smash that like button, share this live stream. Really appreciate it. And we really, really are trying to grow our paid membership. So if you appreciate this on the ground reporting that very few outlets are doing, sign up as a paying member. $5 a month is 16 cents a day. That's all it costs to help us get back out there. John had to come home to see his daughter, but we want to get him back out there on the ground. And I'm going to get back on the ground soon myself. I just had a personal thing going on with my infant son. I don't want to get so into it. I explained at the top of the live stream, but he's been having trouble eating, not sleeping. So I don't really want to leave right now and leave my wife to deal with my infant son's health problems on top of a 3-year-old toddler. But I'll be back out there soon. And we just hired our new reporter, JT Siskowski, who's doing incredible work. And when things settle down, we'll bring him on with me so you could get to know him and, I'll interview him. And by the way, right now we are, if you sign up as a member through our website, statuscoup.com/join, make sure you complete the process because there's a lot of people entering their information, your name, etc., but you're not putting in your payment information, which obviously we need for you to become a paid member. So make sure you're completing the process. We are currently in the process of creating a new membership platform. I won't bore you with the details. You won't have to do anything. But for those that are signing up to our website, which is our preferred way, make sure you finish the process because some people are just putting in their information, but they're not finishing with their payment information. All right. So I want to get to more of this. We're going to play some more of our clips from our on-the-ground reporting, but I want to show you, I guess you shouldn't be shocked because it's Trump. Trump said so many things in recent days that are just literally previewing illegal crimes that are illegal. And nobody's really batting an eye. Let me first play this. He said this yesterday. This wasn't illegal, just completely insane.
Chicago, and we have to listen to this man stand up and say that we're bad people. And the people of Chicago are walking around with MAGA hats. You have women, beautiful black women, walking around with MAGA hats. Please let the president in, and we don't care how he does it. They're not interested in National Guard or Army, Navy, bring them in. Marines, bring in the Marines. They just want the crime to stop.
Beautiful black women are celebrating the National Guard. Why did he point out black women in that clip? Can somebody explain that to me? Are there only black women in Chicago? It's interesting that the president, who once called for the execution of the Central Park Five, who were proven innocent, and according to reports, has used the N-word in private quite a bit, in addition to sleeping next to a copy of Mein Kampf. It's interesting that he's pointing out black women love him and are celebrating. No, they're not. You know how I know? Because we've been on the ground for nearly 3 weeks. There's virtually nobody in Chicago happy or pleased that Trump has invaded their state with National Guard, Border Patrol. Nobody's happy about it. He is lying. Absolutely lying. But a huge portion of MAGA happens to be racist. Sorry to say. Not all, but most. And they love hearing about black women celebrating fascism and autocracy. Now let's hear how Trump says he's about to illegally invade other sovereign states and cities.
We're just at the start. We're going to go into other cities that we're not talking about purposely. We're getting ready to go in. And when they go in, like Cash as an example, told me that people didn't even know. 5 months ago, they went into Chicago, and they started doing a lot of work in Chicago. And we brought the numbers down a little bit. And but that really was just preparatory work for what we're going to do with the surge. We're going to have a surge of strong, good people, patriots, and they're going to go in, they straighten it all out. So
we're going to have a surge of strong, great people, patriots. You know, those patriots wearing masks to conceal their identity from ICE and Border Patrol. Those patriots tear gassing newborn babies. Those patriots attacking and assaulting bodega store owners that are like 80 years old. Those patriots snagging mothers out of their cars away from their children. Those patriots attacking a five-year-old autistic kid in Chicago. Yeah, we're going to have, can't wait for those patriots to invade, he mentioned the other day, San Francisco. He wants to hit San Francisco. They want to hit other big Democratic cities. He's definitely doing New York City, which we will be all over because I'm based in that area. So he is telling you he is going to, again, I got to keep using this term, illegally, because the federal government is not allowed to just invade sovereign states unless there is actually an insurrection, which there is not. He is preparing to invoke the Insurrection Act under this nonsense bullshit invasion. But I'm here to tell you, here's the real invasion that essentially nobody in the media is actually, well, I shouldn't say nobody, but very few people in the media are reporting on. You want to know what the real invasion is? The real invasion is we are living in an economic Hunger Games. We are living in a Gilded Age. The real invasion is Trump. His fellow oligarchs are literally bank robbing the entire country blind. It's not immigrants. They are robbing you blind. And I show this every live stream, and I'm going to continue. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but you get the point. Hiring at its lowest level since 2009. The bottom 60% of U.S. households don't make enough money to afford a, quote, minimal quality of life. Serious credit card delinquencies climbed the highest levels in 14 years. Late rental payments skyrocketing. U.S. foreclosures are up 14%. U.S. homelessness hit record highs last year. Surge of Americans living in RVs. Recent unemployment among college graduates are rising faster than all workers. So if you're a Gen Zer, you are fucked. Priced out of traditional housing, more Americans living in RVs. Beef prices up 17%. U.S. household now needs to earn $114,000 annually. The invasion is Trump. And let's not forget the Democrats, because they have done absolutely fucking nothing for the working class of this country for the last 40 years. It would be a lot more profitable if I just shit on Trump and just shit on Republicans and put on a blue hat, because there's a lot of channels out there that do that and they make a lot of money. But I'm not going to lie to you. All the politicians are corrupt. 99% of them don't have your best interest, including the Democrats. It's just the Republicans are like just in your face fascist, whereas the Democrats are just corporate whores. If you don't like that, sorry, I'm here to tell you the truth. Because again, I could just pretend it's all about the Republicans. There's a lot of channels out there that just, ooh, blinders, rah, rah, Gavin Newsom 2028. Fuck that. Rah, rah, J.B. Pritzker. I'd rather Pritzker than Newsom. But J.B. Pritzker, He vowed that he was going to not help Trump's ICE. He vowed that his state and his police wouldn't lift a finger for ICE. We've been on the ground as they're literally clearing the road so ICE could take the people they abducted into that illegal prison. So let's not get it twisted here, folks. I'm not going to lie to you. We have some people that are kind of like MSNBC refugees and are kind of vote blue no matter who people. You got to take your blue hat off too. Okay? This country has been brainwashed to think there's a blue team and a red team. There's only one team in America. It's the green team because it's all about the money, Lebowski. All these people care about is money. That's why Cory Booker, when questioned, are you going to take AIPAC money in an interview recently, twisted himself into a human goddamn pretzel not to answer. I want to read this from Ken Klippenstein. He's an investigative journalist because I think it goes to what Trump is planning. This is from his Substack. He does good reporting there. Inside the war on Antifa, feds target, quote, affinity groups, informant networks, the Tides Foundation, and more. The FBI and the Homeland Security Department are actively investigating, quote, Antifa individuals, whatever the hell that means, because it's not an actual group. It's an ideology. Again, they're just illegally making up terrorists and labeling people that they don't like or they don't agree with politically as terrorists. And organizations that the Trump administration has branded domestic terrorists. Actions so far include collecting intelligence on Antifa, quote, affinity groups, canvassing the FBI's vast informant network for tips about Antifa, and scrutinizing financial records. Two sources involved in the investigation tell me. While major media organizations continue to downplay the crackdown and virtually ignore the underlying executive order and related national security directive, NSPM 7, that are driving this crusade, sources say that the investigation will likely rival in scope those conducted under the Biden administration on January 6 perpetrators. Quote, lawsuits will undoubtedly follow, as will much belly aching about the Trump team not following established procedures, but no one should doubt the orders that have come down from on high to destroy Antifa, a senior career Homeland Security official told me. Yeah, not following established procedures, also known as law. They are illegally branding like hippies in Portland, protesters in Chicago as Antifa. It is absurd. Thank you for the 5 gifted memberships, Tyler Durden. We greatly appreciate it. Like I said in the beginning of this live stream, we're growing, but we need to grow more on our paid membership. So the more people that sign up as paid members, the more we could get out there. Because just being in Chicago for I'm just telling you the truth, showing you behind the scenes. Just being in Chicago on the ground for 3 weeks, it costs us over $6,000. That might not sound like a lot. It's not if you have major corporate funding. We do not. Our funding comes from you. I had an offer about a year and a half, 2 years ago, of $500,000. Maybe one day I'll say who it was from. I had an offer for $500,000 to the company to invest. It would have probably allowed me to hire at least 6 or 7 people and expand our on-the-ground reporting. I was tempted to take it because it would have allowed me to work less because I work 7 days a week. I didn't take it because that potential investor would not put in writing that he would not have editorial control and we would have editorial control. He just said, trust me. Yeah. I'm not going to have a say, but we don't need it in writing. Well, I said, no, I need it in writing. We maintain editorial control. I'll update you once in a while, but that's it. You have no say on what we cover or how we cover it. He wouldn't commit to it. I said, thanks, but no thanks. It's a lot harder to do this without major funding. So we do it, boots on the ground. We're not staying at lavish hotels. We're not having 5-course meals. So please, if you value living, breathing, on-the-ground journalism, I just ask you to support us. You can become a member for as low as 16 cents a day. And welcome new Status Coup members signed up to our website. Elmer and Rose signed up. So now we're moving. Keep it coming. So I also want to get to other clips We're going to keep showing you some of our on the ground. Actually, you know what? Let me show you this clip because I think this goes to, this is what they did in Chicago. We captured this on the ground about a week and a half ago. My reporter, JT Seskowski, who you're paying for, the paid members are paying for us to be there to show you this. CNN didn't have this. MSNBC didn't have this. CBS didn't have it. ABC, NBC, PBS, we had it. This is what's coming to a city near you. If you're in San Francisco, I think they're going to probably go to other Democratic cities. Maybe kind of like they're already in Memphis. They're going to, I think, escalate in Washington, D.C. I think they're going to escalate in New York City. I think they're going to go into Philadelphia. Here's what we covered. Again, them attacking, ICE and Border Patrol, attacking Hispanic, in this case, a Hispanic community.
We know, hitting up. Oh.
Hey! Hey! Fuck that shit! Woo!
Fuck you, bitch! Fuck you, bitch!
Fucking pussy!
Fuck you, bitch! Get the fuck out of here! Get the fuck out of here!
Got. Get away from the smoke. Yep. This way.
Watch out!
Get the fuck out of here!
Beto,
Padre, ahí está, sí. Tony! Hey, Tony! Tony!
No, I'm calling Beto, the guy they hit.
Hey, Tony!
Is anyone else seeing? All right, so
Why are we not seeing these clips on CNN? And let me give you the behind the scenes here. Let me give you the behind the scenes. And again, thank you so much. We just got another 5 gifted memberships. Sunny Bear gifted 5 Status Coup memberships. So randomly 5 people in the chat will get paid memberships. Thank you. Thank you. By the way, I should have said, as a paid member, you get perks too. We do a monthly members call through a program like Zoom with our members. So that's a lot of fun. We usually go about an hour to 2 hours once a month through video. You don't have to be on camera. You can mute your camera and just listen if you want. I take your questions, comments, concerns. It's typically a lot of fun. We do behind the scenes content for our members from on the ground. And you also get merchandise discounts as a paying member. But when we have clips like that, we always reach out to the major outlets, CNN, MSNBC, NBC, CBS, ABC, whichever ones I'm forgetting, Fox News, to license it. I mean, these outlets have all the money in the world. So, you know, we offer the clips for a small amount. Very rarely do they take us up on it. Is there a reason they don't want to show what's actually happening in the streets? You know, they show the helicopters. They show the aerial shots of protests. They don't seem to want to show people being gassed, babies being gassed. And that goes for the local news too. Why is that? I also want to show you, this was, again, from our on-the-ground reporting, John and JT. JT, our reporter, and John, they were over at the Broadview Detention Center one Saturday. They caught wind that a woman had been shot by ICE and Border Patrol. This was about a week or so ago. And they hightailed it over to this community, Brighton Park, another invasion of a majority Hispanic community where, I mean, this looks like a fucking war zone. We got this footage. And I'm telling you, if it's San Francisco, I think there's rumors they're going to go into Austin, Texas, which is the major Democratic city in Texas, one of the few. Portland, we know they're already there. They want to escalate. This is coming to you, folks. So you better pay attention to what they're doing in Chicago. Let me show you this clip from our on-the-ground reporting recently in Chicago.
Hope you get home safe to your family, baby doll.
First, the Chicago police wasn't here. They didn't have a presence. But then after a while, I guess they started coming in. And over there, they formed the line on the other side, because I was on the other side as well at first. They formed a line. Then people were forming a line, so it was all calm over there. But this side is a little bit more chaotic. I don't know why this side, I guess, is popping off a lot more. They formed the barricade, and then there was a scuffle between CPD and protesters. And so I guess ICE agents decided to set off some tear gas. But
so even though the fight was between CPD and protesters, ICE still set off the tear gas.
Yes.
Were police prepared for that?
Right in front of police. No police officer was wearing masks. Some of them weren't wearing glasses or anything like that, any protection whatsoever. Everybody ran down Kedzie. Everybody scattered. And then now everybody's coming back in now that the gas is dissipating a little bit. But yeah, it's been crazy. It's only been escalating more and more. They've been trying to push us back, but every time they push us back, we get our feet back and stuff. So it's just crazy.
So when you say push forward, push back, how far are we talking?
We're talking just to Pershing. They have not crossed Pershing. So from where we're at right here, they were actually at the end of the alley. Now you can see they've made some ground, but they pushed us all the way back to Pershing, and then we were able to come back here. But we're trying to keep it peaceful now because it's been getting a little too chaotic right now.
We see police are between the protesters and ICE. Oh, we're seeing the crowd move here, John. I think we better move with it. Yep.
Report.
All right, so we're seeing here a home. This is on Chicago. This is in Chicago, just southwest of downtown, near the intersection of 40th and McKenzie, where we've seen protesters clash with immigration and customs enforcement, as well as Department of Homeland Security and Chicago police. And we've seen that ICE has been throwing tear gas as a means to control and disperse the crowd. If you want your goggles.
All right.
Motherfucker, fuck the window! Fuck you, man! Run! Fuck you! Fuck you, motherfucker!
That was our footage that we got. And you could hear JT struggling to narrate and tell you what's going on as he's inhaling the tear gas, which again is banned in war because it's a chemical weapon. Somehow in America, cops could use it, Border Patrol could illegally use it because they're not even supposed to fucking be there. And of course, ICE. And another thing happened at the end of that clip, which I don't really think the media is accurately reporting, if they're reporting it at all. If you notice, there was that big explosion at the end. They're releasing flashbangs and stun grenades within a few feet of people. If a flashbang or a stun grenade blows up on you, you could die. It's not like a minor little, like a rubber bullet, which also could kill you if you're shot with a rubber bullet at point blank range. They're shooting people and they're releasing flashbangs and stun grenades at people point blank range for no reason. And they're literally launching tear gas into homes, which is what you saw, where children are, where animals are. This is going after the criminals? Because there are MAGA people who legitimately wanted to go after the criminal gangs and the violent, illegal criminals, which there are some of them are that, but the overwhelming majority of undocumented immigrants are not criminals. Yes, this is state-sponsored terrorism. Nothing less. People are going to die pretty soon. But I want to show you one more time, because I've shown you the terrorism. I've shown you the violence. This is what the president is saying when he promises we are about to invade other cities. This is who he says, the caliber of people, ICE, Border Patrol. This is what he says about them.
We're just at the start. We're going to go into other cities that we're not talking about purposely. We're getting ready to go in. And when they go in, like Cash, as an example, told me that people didn't even know. 5 months ago, they went into Chicago, and they started doing a lot of work in Chicago. And we brought the numbers down a little bit. And but that really was just preparatory work for what we're going to do with the surge. We're going to have a surge of strong, good people, patriots, and they're going to go in, they straighten it all out. So,
yeah, we're going to have a surge of the strong, great patriots tear gassing babies. If you came late to this live stream, they tear gassed a baby in the southeast Hispanic neighborhood of Chicago on Tuesday, which can seriously fuck up a baby who has very small lungs. They are tossing tear gas into homes. They are shooting flashbangs and stun grenades at people's feet, which could also severely injure or kill you. They are illegally disobeying, illegally violating judges' orders, to which the judges respond, I'm seriously concerned that you might be violating my order. Am I in the Twilight Zone? This fucking idiot judge in Chicago? They're blatantly violating your order, and in response, you're saying, I would like you to come in to my courtroom and explain what happened. That's not how it's supposed to happen. You're supposed to hold them in contempt, throw them behind bars. If there is no actual penalty or threat of penalty for violating the law, then people will violate the law. If there is no threat to the fascists that they could be sent away, then they're going to go further. And I'm sorry, that's not true. The judge can do something. Judges have the power to hold people in contempt. So if a judge issued a ruling that said ICE, which is under the Department of Homeland Security, which is run by Kristi Noem, if the judge issued a ruling that ICE agents and Border Patrol agents cannot tear gas protesters, cannot tear gas journalists, then if they're not doing it, you could hold the head of those departments in contempt and the field officers in contempt and throw them in jail. Why is the judge not doing that? I don't know. And is there a governor in Illinois? I think his name is J.B. Pritzker. He talks a good game and loves to get in front of cameras and act like he's carrying a big stick. He's clearly preparing a run for president in 2028. He's not the worst Democrat out there. There's a lot worse than him. But shouldn't he be kind of speaking up about this and saying, shouldn't these directors be held in contempt for violating the judge's order? Unbelievable. Smash that like button, share this live stream. Also, shout outs to new Status Coup member. Now we're humming. Donnie just signed up as a Status Coup member. Welcome, Donnie. Tierney just signed up. I hope I pronounced that right. Tierney just signed up as a Status Coup member. And I'll read your super chats at the end, so keep them coming. Really appreciate it. Let me show you another crazy thing the president said yesterday. I mean, he's saying so many things that are blatantly illegal. I can't keep up. I really can't keep up.
Didn't get elected. I did get elected for crime, but I didn't get elected for what we're doing. This is many, many steps above. And I want to thank Stephen Miller, who's right back in the audience right there. I'd love to have him. I love watching him on television. I'd love to have him come up and explain his true feelings, but maybe not his truest feelings. That might be going a little bit too far. But Stephen, thank you for doing an unbelievable job. And the people of this country love you, I'll tell you, and they love what you say about crime and stopping crime.
I'm going to repeat that one more time because I think it's so important you hear. He's literally telling you, I conned you all. MAGA, are you listening? He's literally telling you, I didn't say I was going to do any of this. I'm literally basically lied to you about what I was going to do. I am a liar. I am a fascist. I'm not going after criminals. He's telling you that he hoodwinked all of the voters, including independents. There's a lot of people who voted for him who are not hardcore MAGA or just independents and, wanted prices to go down. And I think naively thought he was going to do it. He's not bringing down prices. Prices are going up with his stupid ass tariffs. I'm going to play this one more time because it's so revealing. He's telling you, yeah, I didn't run on this and we're not actually going after criminals.
Didn't get elected. I did get elected for crime, but I didn't get elected for what we're doing. This is many, many steps above it. I want to thank Stephen Miller, who's right back in the audience right there. I'd love to have him. I love watching him on television. I'd love to have him come up and explain his true feelings, but maybe not his truest feelings. That might be going a little bit too far. But Stephen, thank you for doing an unbelievable job. And the people of this country love you, I'll tell you. And
can you imagine if Joe Biden, when he was able to speak, said, I didn't get elected to hand a blank check to Israel to commit a genocide on innocent Palestinians, but, it's going well. I mean, this is like a stage 5 fire alarm. This guy is literally saying, I am breaking the law. I did not get elected to do this. I am going way beyond anything I said I was going to do and anything I'm actually allowed to do. And speaking of Stephen Miller, he had a little slip up the other day too, because you remember back in the day when George W. Bush, everybody said, oh, Karl Rove is Bush's brain. Bush doesn't know what the fuck's going on. Cheney's really running the country. Karl Rove is really running the country. A lot of people say Stephen Miller is running the country. Well, Stephen Miller kind of said it himself.
But you said something else baked into the premise of one of your questions. You said, well, aren't we provoking? Illinois governor says we're provoking actions that are unlawful. Why would the mere presence, just think about this for a second. If I put federal law enforcement and National Guard into a nice sleepy southern town, is anyone going to riot?
I'm sorry. Did anybody else just hear that? If I put federal agents, aren't you his deputy chief of staff? Who the fuck elected Stephen Miller to do anything? Who elected Joseph Goebbels? I mean, it's been reported that Stephen Miller was not happy with the quantity, the volume of arrests of the poor brown people. So he went in there and gave the fucking wrath of God. He breathed fire onto ICE and Border Patrol. You get out there and you fucking round up anyone that looks brown. You go into Home Depot, round anyone up that looks brown. You go into 7-Eleven, round up anybody that looks brown. You go into Hispanic neighborhoods, I don't fucking care who they are. Put them in a paddy wagon. This has been what's been reported. But now he's literally saying, if I send troops to a sleepy southern... So who's running the show here? Donald Trump, who, to be fair, I pointed out for years that Joe Biden was in cognitive decline when the liberal media was ignoring it. Well, Donald Trump is clearly in cognitive decline. Who's running the country? Stephen Miller or Trump? He's talking about if I send troops. I mean, that's scary shit. And Governor Pritzker actually zeroed in on this.
But I mean, I do think he needs help. And I don't think anybody around him on a day-to-day basis wants to get him any help because they have more power based upon his diminished capacity. Think about Stephen Miller. I mean, Stephen Miller clearly is the one pushing the tactics at DHS, at CBP, at ICE. He's clearly the person that is aiming to have Donald Trump become an authoritarian leader. And I wish that, people could, at least recognize that Stephen Miller is bad for the country, and he is abusing the fact that Donald Trump has diminished capacity.
I don't agree with everything that this governor is doing. I think he is not backing up the talk. He said, I'm not going to help. We are not going to lift a finger for Donald Trump or ICE or Border Patrol here in Illinois. Well, we have shown you on the ground they have done more than lift a finger. They are helping ICE. The Illinois state troopers have been, for some strange reason, attacking protesters, which I'm about to show you in a minute, who are unarmed and just protesting. That's his police force. He's allowing that. The Illinois State Police is literally clearing the road so ICE could bring in the people they're abducting into this illegal torture camp. So I got my qualms, but there he's 100% right. And let's show you some of, again, our on-the-ground footage. There is no other outlet that has been on the ground for nearly 3 weeks covering the Chicago invasion. And we have a lot of new subscribers, so you might not know this is not the only place we have covered. We were in LA for 2 weeks when Donald Trump invaded LA with ICE and National Guard. And our reporter there, Tina Desiree Berg, she was on the ground. She got shot in the leg by a rubber bullet from these insane fascists. Our cameraman, John Farina, was on the ground in D.C. covering Trump's takeover of D.C. and got incredible footage. We were down in Florida covering the torture camp known as Alligator Alcatraz. We've covered that extensively. We've covered in New York City the ICE raids. We've been at the federal courthouse where they're dragging immigrants out of court and deporting them illegally. So we're doing, honestly, as a small independent outlet without corporate funding, keyword independent, we're doing a whole lot more than billion-dollar companies like CNN, NBC, ABC, CBS. Let me show you again, because we reached out to Governor Pritzker's office. Why are your police beating up protesters? Why are your police arresting protesters? Why are your police clearing the road for ICE? Haven't heard back.
We see people moving out there into the street where we're going to see a clash here with law enforcement because people are not allowed into the street. Back up. Back up. Back up. Back up. What's got back up?
Leave them alone! Leave them alone! Leave them alone! Leave them alone! Who are you protecting? Who are you protecting? Who are you protecting?
Back up! Back up!
Who are you protecting?
Your hand. All right.
Passage for these vehicles. We see authorities now getting quite physical with the crowd. We're trying to get up here to give you a better view as to exactly what is going on. You can see the police pushing, shoving protesters. Pushing, shoving protesters.
People through! You pushed me! What the fuck are you doing? You are letting people through who are kidnapping Illinoisans! What the fuck?
We see people move. Oh, and there we go. We see police rushing forward to grab some folks. Rushing forward, pushing folks to the ground. People collapsing onto the ground. These people are forced back as they execute an arrest. Arresting someone from the crowd. More police extend their line here onto the grass in front of some, looks like an apartment building.
ISP! IOF! KKK! They're on the stage!
Disperse now, or you will be arrested! We will arrest you now! We're up to the government alone!
Protesters moving here to link arms with one another.
I know we're only supposed to criticize Trump, but who's the governor of Illinois? And by the way, that's our footage because we've been on the ground for nearly 3 weeks. StatusCoup.com/join. StatusCoup.com/join. 16 cents a day. That's all we're asking for. That's $5 a month is 16 cents a day. For those who can't afford it, times are tough for everybody. I totally get it. No shame. If you can't pay, if you can't afford to support us financially, just press the like button, leave a comment, share, word of mouth still counts in this fucked up country. So tell your friends, tell your family, tell your animals, subscribe, watch Status Coup. We cover a lot of other things other than Trump's terror. I just did an interview on another community that has poisoned water. I just did an interview on a uranium mine that is being put in on native land against native wishes. So we do a lot of other stuff too. But right now, obviously, the number one story in America is the growth of fascism. But the bottom line is J.B. Pritzker could order his police to do nothing. The only thing police should be doing is standing to the side and just crowd control, making sure that protesters aren't too far into the street where they could be hit by a car. That's it. They should not be establishing free speech zones, which is basically like little areas where you could protest, but everywhere else is fascism. I thought America itself was a free speech zone, but Illinois has set up free speech areas near the detention center. They should not be walking around with billy clubs. You're saying you're not going to help ICE, but you're walking around with clubs to intimidate and attack unarmed protesters that are attacking the illegal abduction, not just of immigrants, they're abducting U.S. citizens too. They have wrongly taken U.S. citizens. I mean, it's wrong, period, to take immigrants or U.S. citizens. So I'm sorry, a lot of Democratic media, MSNBC, broadcast news, some bigger podcasts, interview J.B. Pritzker. They don't challenge him. He should be stopped. His police should not be operating this way. I want to show you a couple more clips here. This was a really, really, I think, powerful moment. And this is the value of not just being independent, but being on the ground. There's a gazillion channels on YouTube that just sit on their ass and bloviate. Some of them I like. A lot of them I don't, because I don't think they know anything about what they're talking about. A lot of them just do pure clickbait and I think poison an already fractured and divided America. But the beauty of being on the ground to cover these stories is you capture moments like this. This was a moment we captured in Brighton Park, which is a Hispanic neighborhood that ICE was raiding after ICE shot a woman, which they lied about. They claimed that she rammed into ICE agents. Evidence indicates she did not. A Hispanic community member confronted a Hispanic Border Patrol agent.
You're going to use that gun on your people. Shame on you. I hope right now your ancestors are looking at you. Look at you right now, brother. Stand up. Stand up. How did your family get here? How did your family get here? You of all people. Don't walk away, brother. I'm good. Stay there. We can talk. We can talk. My tax money put you in school. You came here without no papers. Now you're an American? Thank you. Out of the way and pay us back. We love you, brother. Don't forget that. Everybody take a picture of you. You know why? The internet is so good. No, I'm on public property. You're going to be a movie star. You're going to be a movie star. We're going to show you. Wait a minute. Come over here, Mr. American.
You see whose microphone was right there? Ours. Because we care enough to be on the ground, to cover what the corporate media covers up. CNN could have been out there. MSNBC could have been out. Fox News could have. They certainly don't want to be. PBS, ABC, NBC, CBS, some bigger independent outlets, they could all be out there if they wanted to. For whatever reason, they don't. Doesn't make us morally superior. It just means we choose to roll up our sleeves and get in the trenches with the people. So that's why we're asking for your support. Again, for as low as $5 a month. Thanks again. Millennial Diligence just signed up as a paying member. Certify, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, signed up as a paying member. And we got a couple new members on our website. So keep them coming, folks. To be clear, I don't want to, obviously we want to focus on the stories here, but to be clear, there's different ways different outlets make money. A lot of outlets make money through investors. A lot of outlets make money through sponsors, advertisers. We got an investor in the beginning, a small investor for $50,000. It was a viewer. That money was out the door, like right away on equipment. Earlier this year, we got an investor for a little bit more than that, but not much more than that. We were able to hire 2 more people, and that investor has zero say on our content. But the overwhelming majority of how we fund this is through small dollar paid memberships. I just turned down an advertising opportunity for sponsorship. It would have been decent money, but it involved hawking a healthcare company. And I didn't feel comfortable doing that, considering we cover healthcare. And I didn't think it was aligned with our values to be hawking a healthcare company. There's a lot of outlets out there that will take any sponsor they could get. I have turned down several sponsors and advertisers. So again, if you value real, living, breathing, independent journalism, please support us. StatusCoup.com/join. You can become a member for as low as $5 a month. I want to get back to this, more of the insane things, the insane illegal things Trump said over the past few days, because it all ties into the illegal things we're capturing on the ground in Chicago.
And I hope that everybody's, they're involved in it. I'm not. I'm the one that had to suffer through it and ultimately win. But what they did was criminal. Deranged Jack Smith, in my opinion, is a criminal. And I noticed his interviewer was, I think that was Weissman. And I hope they're going to look into Weissman, too. Weissman's a bad guy. And he had somebody in Lisa, who was his puppet, worked in the office really as the top person. And I think that she should be looked at very strongly. There was tremendous criminal activity having to do. If we don't have fair elections in this country, we're not going to have a country. And I've said it from the beginning, fair elections and borders. And we need also fair press, because if you don't have fair press, it's very tough. And we've got the strongest border of anybody. Nobody has a border. We have a border where the numbers just came out again. You saw 0 people came in illegally. Now, we do take people into our country legally, but 0 people. But, you're talking about a different subject. You're talking about political crime. They have committed massive political crime. I hope they're looking at Shifty Schiff. I hope they're looking at all these people. And I'm allowed to find out. I'm allowed to, I'm, in theory, the chief law enforcement officer. But I have a very good, talented group. This is about something else. But I hope they're looking at political crime, because there's never been so much political crime against a political opponent as what I had to go through. They raided.
He's literally openly directing his Department of Justice, the Attorney General, who's a fucking idiot bimbo next to him, a sycophant. He's openly directing the Department of Justice to go after his political opponents, many of whom I don't like. I think Adam Schiff is a corrupt asshole, but I don't think he should be criminally targeted by Trump. Several of the people Trump don't like, I don't like, but they shouldn't be. I don't like them for other reasons. He doesn't like them because they came after him because Trump is a criminal. And when he's talking about big criminals, this is a man, this delusion that he was unfairly gone after. He literally stole nuclear documents from the U.S. government and had them hanging around at the ballroom and bathroom in Mar-a-Lago. He stole classified documents where he was approached by the FBI and DOJ for over a year to return them. He had his little underlings at Mar-a-Lago move them when the FBI was coming to hide them. He broke the law 7 ways through Sunday. If I took one classified document, I would be put away for life. This man had nuclear documents and documents revealing the identities of spies hanging around the ballroom and bathroom at Mar-a-Lago with people coming in and out. He wasn't unfairly targeted. He wasn't targeted aggressively enough. And who is to blame that this man isn't in prison? Besides, well, he should be in prison. We haven't even gotten to the other cases. I'm just talking about the most open and shut one. The classified documents case was open and shut. There's no gray area. He didn't. Those documents do not belong to him. He disobeyed subpoenas to return them for over a year. He then criminally interfered by having his little pool boys move boxes of classified documents. He even lied to his lawyers and said there's no more. He had some of the classified documents hidden in his office desk. And then he has the gall to talk about other criminals. But the person to blame, again, is a Democrat. Attorney General Merrick Garland should have went after him much sooner over January 6th. He sat on his ass and didn't go after him for inciting an insurrection, an attempted coup, which killed people. He waited too long, and he didn't go after him aggressively enough to go on the classified documents. It's truly unbelievable. Let me show you more just insane things Trump said. And this is just I think he said this yesterday, so 24 hours.
What we're doing is nothing. Are you kidding? Nothing. They write stories. Why aren't they doing this? And we'll leave. I don't have to leave it up to them, but I choose to at this moment, at least. But there's never been anybody treated in the history of politics. You know.
So what he's talking about there, he's saying I could get more involved in directing my Department of Justice to illegally go after my opponents, but I'm not doing it yet, which obviously he is doing it. He literally posted on Truth Social or whatever it is, a message that he meant to send Attorney General Pam Bondi privately, telling her to go after James Comey and others. I mean, this makes Richard Nixon look like a fucking choir boy. This is way worse than Nixon. Here we go again.
And the Sun. But they should really make a deal. So what we're doing, I mean, they call him Darth Vader, but he's actually a very nice person, Russell Vogt. But Russell Vogt is really terminating tremendous numbers of Democrat projects.
So there he's talking about through the government shutdown, he's going to illegally target projects that are in Democratic cities. I don't know if he's aware that there are Republicans, not a lot, that do live in New York City, New Jersey. This is in reference to a major infrastructure project he's killing that are a tunnel to connect New York City and New Jersey.
Got a lot of people paid, actually. We got the people that we want paid, okay? And we want the FBI paid, we want the military paid. We got the people that we want paid. And I'll tell you, the Democrats, they don't talk about this. You know, we're getting rid of programs that we didn't like, but that were negotiated in, but we didn't like. We're terminating those programs, and they're going to be terminated on a permanent basis. And it's thousands of people, and it's billions of dollars. We're getting rid of a lot of things that we never wanted because of the fact that they made this stupid move. And they don't want to talk about it. You know, they have their day coming up. I hear very few people are going to be there, by the way. But they have their day coming up, and they want to have their day in the sun. But they should really make a deal. So what we're doing, I mean, they call him Darth Vader, but he's actually a very nice person, Russell Vogt. But Russell Vogt is is really terminating tremendous numbers of Democrat projects. There's not only jobs, I mean, the project in Manhattan, the project in New York, it's billions and billions of dollars that Schumer has worked 20 years to get. It's terminated. Tell him it's terminated, Jennifer.
Let's first talk about the day he's talking about, No King's Day. I will be live. We got to fix that. We got to get a better, more recent image of me. But anyway, I'll be live at the No King's Day protest in New York City on Saturday on the ground, starting at 11 a.m. Eastern. That's 8 a.m. Pacific. Expecting huge crowds all across the country: New York, D.C., Chicago, L.A. We think we might be live also in LA. More on that a little bit later. We're working that out behind the scenes. Our new reporter JT is going to. He's not going to be live, but he will be. We believe either in Chicago or Omaha, Nebraska. So TBD on that. But I will be live Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern from the No King's Day protest in New York City. I'll have more to say on No King's Day. I like it. I do like that there's protests. But one day of massive protests isn't going to do anything. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's good. It makes us feel good, but it's not going to stop the fascists. Just isolated days of protest. If we start protesting with our wallets and get closer to a general strike, including a rent strike, if we stop paying our taxes because the government is now doing illegal things on an hourly basis, that can do something. So I will cover big events like the No King's Day, but I'm not going to lie to you and tell you I think it's going to accomplish a lot other than, resist. Well, it's good to resist. It's good to get awareness. It's good for people to come together. But is it going to actually stop the fascists? No. You got to strike. You got to boycott. So I hope the people organizing No King's Day start moving towards that, because people need to feel connected right now. People need to feel like somebody's doing something, that somebody's speaking out about this. So it's not a bad thing to protest, but there is protesting and then there's stopping the fascists. We shouldn't conflate the two. Just protesting, although peaceful protest is important and has been important throughout American history, the only thing that Donald Trump, his donors, the fascists care about is this: the moolah. So if we start having No King's Days with economic strikes attached to it, if we have No King's Weeks with economic strikes and boycotts attached to it, then we're talking. And we'll get to that a little bit more probably tomorrow. Now I want to get to Trump. I want to show you this, because literally what Trump is talking about is also illegal. This money, that these projects that he's canceling, are not decided by Donald Trump. They're decided by Congress. And they're already put into law through budgets. So these infrastructure projects were already voted on, agreed to, and the money has been earmarked by law to go out for these projects. The president doesn't by law have the power to cancel them. But again, laws are being broken on an hourly basis. And apparently there's technically a overarching body that's supposed to do something about that. The problem is this president put in a bunch of lunatic extremists into the Supreme Court. But he doesn't have the legal authority to cancel these projects. And as New Jersey Senator Andy Kim, this sounds a lot like the mafia. He responded to that deranged admission to crimes by Trump that he's going to just cancel the project. This is mob boss politics. It's a direct attack on New Jersey and on our entire nation's economy. This isn't Trump's money. This is your money. Stupid games of political retribution cannot stand. To be clear, he's right. This is not Trump's money. This is not Trump's. It's also, if you follow Status Coup, it's also not your money either. Sorry. This is a whole, we don't have the time. Look up modern monetary theory. Your taxes federally do not pay for these things. On a state and city level, your taxes pay for roads, bridges, police, firefighter. That's on the state and local level. The federal government prints money out of its ass. You think your taxes paid for $20 trillion in Iraq and Afghanistan? No. But that's a different story. Look up modern monetary theory. So then he got to basically acknowledging that he illegally is using the CIA in Venezuela, and he basically acknowledged that he might illegally assassinate the president of Venezuela. I mean, if you used any one of these things in a court of law, he'd be locked up. Here we go.
As an example, if you look at Pakistan and Iran, I told them I was in the midst of negotiating a trade deal with Iran and
this is Venezuela, but other countries also, not only Venezuela. And speaking of Venezuela, we have a lot of drugs. We had a lot of drugs coming in by water, and that stopped. In fact, nobody wants to go fishing anymore. Nobody wants to do anything near the water. They might have a beautiful boat, and they might as well get rid of their boat because they are very nervous about going on the water. It's been amazing. So now we were having literally a subway train of people.
As an example, if you look at Pakistan.
He's literally joking about illegally striking boats in Venezuela and killing innocent people. That's what he's joking about there. Illegal. A crime against the country. Now let's have him talk about illegally using the CIA in Venezuela.
Mr. President, thank you. Curious, why did you authorize the CIA to go into Venezuela? And is there more information you can share about these strikes on the alleged?
Well, I can't do that, but I authorize for two reasons, really. Number one, they have emptied their prisons into the United States of America. They came in through the, they came in through the border. They came in because we had an open border policy. And as soon as I heard that, I said, a lot of these countries, they're not the only country, but they're the worst abuser. And they've entered they've allowed thousands and thousands of prisoners, mental institution, people from mental institutions, insane asylums, emptied out into the United States. We're bringing them back, but that's a really bad, and they did it at a level that probably not, many countries.
Lies, more lies. No, none of that is true. Not one thing he said is true. And it's also illegal to use the CIA in foreign countries, which we've been doing forever anyway, because laws don't apply. Laws apply to working people. Laws apply to black people, brown people, indigenous people. They don't apply if you are in the military industrial complex, if you're on Wall Street, if you're in the fossil fuel industry, if you work in big pharma, if you work in big tech, if you work for the big agriculture. It's only for working people and minorities. Now let's have him openly basically say, yeah, I might assassinate President Nicolas Maduro.
But we're going to stop him by land also.
Does the CIA have authority to take out Maduro?
Oh, I don't want to answer a question like that. That's a ridiculous question for me to be given. Not really a ridiculous question, but wouldn't it be a ridiculous question for me to answer?
Wouldn't it be a ridiculous question for me to answer? I.e., maybe. I'm with you. God help us all, and I'm an atheist. I mean, he's basically saying there, wink, wink, yeah, that's a ridiculous question to answer. If I would assassinate the president, Nicolas Maduro. A non-answer answer. Correct. And getting back to No King's Day, now you have buffoons like Ted Cruz talking about going after the criminal funders of No King's Day. So if you're a Second Amendment guy, you're a patriot. If you're a pro-lifer that creates protests, you're a patriot. If you are just like a liberal or a progressive who wants to go out and protest a mad king president who's doing illegal things on an hourly basis, you are apparently going to be investigated by the federal government.
What I've been urging is follow the money, cut off the money. And you look at this No Kings rally, and there's considerable evidence that George Soros and his network is behind funding these rallies, which may well be riots all across the country. And Soros is writing the check. And so I've introduced legislation called the Stop Funders Act that would add rioting to the list of predicate offenses for RICO. Why is that? Because it would let the Department of Justice use RICO, racketeering, to prosecute the money that is funding the anti-Semitic protests on campuses, the pro-open border protest in LA and other cities, and these No King protests. Anyone that is supporting rioting and violence, it lets you go after the money. And I'll tell you, there are more than 200 left-wing groups behind these No Kings rallies this weekend. They deliberately are blind to what each of the others are doing. That's part of how they avoid accountability. RICO is designed for precisely that sort of criminal enterprise. And so I believe the Senate, we ought to take up and vote on and pass our Stop Funders legislation. And I've urged both Pam Bondi.
So they're going to go. First of all, what are they going to do when George Soros dies? Is George Soros paying for all protests in America? That's what they want you to believe. It's absurd. Secondly, and I've covered a lot of protests. They're not paid protesters. Secondly, they're doing this. They started this during Black Lives Matter. And it's not just Republicans. Democrats have done this too. They have basically done this weird illegal thing saying if you're a protester and you're anywhere near violence, which they determine what violence is, you're inciting a riot. So not only is Trump and the Republicans now declaring who they think are terrorists just by, like, if you don't agree with them, which kind of nullifies the First Amendment, now they're basically saying if you're in the vicinity of a peaceful protest and, like, the cops start roughing you up, they're going to say you're inciting a riot and go after you and, I guess, the organization's funding. So this has major ramifications for all nonprofit political groups, nonprofit media. And it has a chilling effect because, yeah, people are going to be scared to go out and protest if they could be branded terrorists, which is obviously a major legal ordeal. If you are charged with terrorists, go ask the people who were charged with domestic terrorism for protesting Cop City in Atlanta, Georgia for the last few years. Peaceful protesters who were slapped with domestic terrorism charges and held in jail without charges for weeks and weeks and weeks. Eventually, a judge tossed it because it was so illegal and absurd, but they had to go through that ordeal and they had to pay for the defense fund, the defense. I want to show you just a little bit more of our on-the-ground footage because this is who we are. I could sit here and react to the news, but our DNA, Status Coup's DNA, is to be on the ground covering what the corporate media covers up. And we want to do much, much more of this. But we need to grow our paid membership in order to pay for reporters, producers, editors, cameramen, and travel is expensive. Flights, hotels, rent-a-car. We don't have major funding from, whomever are the donors funding these fascist Republicans or the corporate sellout Democrats. Let me show you some more from our on-the-ground reporting in Chicago.
I did see one person getting dragged over here on this side. I'm frustrated because I want to jump onto the street, and there's people on the other side encouraging us to jump on the street. They're good faith because they know that we're overwhelming them. We could overwhelm them. We could get our comrade back. We could get that person who is here. Well, all of us are here. We're all taking a risk to be here. We're all sacrificing our identities, our jobs, our livelihoods to be here. And to see somebody being taken like that, it makes us want to jump in and save that person. And it's scary, though. It's really scary because, again, this is your lives. This is your jobs. These are nobody wants to sacrifice their comfort. But at the same time, like, when do you start doing that? Because they will keep taking. They've proven they will keep taking. It's very scary, I know, but at the same time, know that there are people here who are willing to help you, who could push for you.
Now it's calm. But then the other day, that was the same thing. Like you could go up to it and people would touch it and it would be fine. And then like a couple hours later, someone had their car here standing. Actually, that was the same day that my car got shut up. There's a car standing here playing music, and they were there for a while. And I don't know what happened. It was a shift change or what, but they just started shooting like crazy. Those pepper ball bullets. It was, again, there's no rhyme or reason.
I've lived in Chicago my whole life, and I've never felt the environment that it is now. People are scared to leave their homes, and not just people who are undocumented, like people who are here legally, here who were born here. They're scared to leave their homes because there's people who are being picked up who are citizens and they're still being arrested. And given that there's like 1,200 immigrants that have gone missing, like people wonder if they pick me up, even if I'm a citizen, what's going to happen to me? Is anybody going to know? Is anybody going to hear about it? So there's a lot of fear in my community. There's definitely like people want to stay home. Yesterday, there's a lady in Little Village that she makes food to sell, and anytime she has extra food left, she gives it to the homeless. And yesterday she posted on Facebook about how she was scared to go give the food out to the homeless. Like, it's crazy that you think you're taking criminals off the street, but you're just taking regular people that want to help their community off the street. To be scared to leave your own home to do a charitable act to feed the homeless, to me is like, it's almost like what you see in movies. I never thought that this would be Chicago. Out of all the cities, I love this city. It is so liberal, it is so progressive, it is so diverse, and for people to have fear in Chicago, it makes me sad personally.
Afraid to go out and feed the homeless. Let that sink in. Chicago residents, whether undocumented or U.S. citizens, because they're rounding up U.S. citizens too, are afraid to go out and feed the homeless. I want to show you one more clip. This was from an interview we did recently with a veteran. There's a lot of veterans right now. They're big on Instagram and YouTube and everywhere. They're fighting the good fight, peacefully protesting. But this one was with Sergeant Rig Madden, who had a lot to say about ICE.
Out of everybody I despise the most, ICE is at the top of the list right now. You guys are fucking traitors, man. I did 5 tours of duty. My first one was Operation Sea Signal in Cuba, Operation Joint Endeavor in Bosnia in 1996. Cuba was 95. I did Operation Joint Guard, which was Kosovo in 1999. I did Operation Iraqi Freedom in 2008 in Iraq. And my final tour was in Afghanistan, Operation Enduring Freedom in 2013. Freedom is a rare thing in the world. True freedom is.
What would be your message to current soldiers, ICE agents, and National Guard that are being ordered to do illegal, non-constitutional things on a daily basis?
Don't participate, right? Weaponize incompetence. You walk out here, you look good, you be a prop for the government, help people with their luggage, but absolutely do not raise your weapon. As a citizen, don't participate in anything you know is illegal. Somebody with a fucking conscience got to still be here to hold the line. And I understand that it's terrible for you. It's terrible to see people, it's terrible to see democracy burn around you, but you really are a last line of defense. And for you kidnappers known as ICE agents, understand this. You will never be fucking forgiven for your crimes, ever. The soldiers, I can understand, they took an oath. They're duty bound to be there. They can't just quit. You could fucking reclass tomorrow and go work for FEMA or do something else. If you choose to put a mask on, if you choose to send people to concentration camps, if you choose to do that shit, you will be a mortal fucking enemy forever. I don't give a fuck if that felon anoints you in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. We're not gonna recognize that shit in these streets. Understand that shit. So when you come out here, be ready for those one-way missions. All right, it's all fun and games until you deal with heavily armed veterans who are willing to match and seat your energy. Hell will flash trees over before I let anybody in my family be taken. Period. I don't give a fuck. ICE is an absolute scourge. You should hold your head in shame forever for the shit you're doing. You will never be forgiven for that shit. If you had a shred of dignity, you will reclass tomorrow. Sorry guys, that shit just pisses me off, man. Can't stand these fucking demons, man.
It's gotta come from the heart.
Yeah, I cannot stand these guys, man. I watch, people out here running for their fucking life, man. That lady in Walmart running for like hours, man, hiding. And notice they're going after people who working.
Yeah.
Right? They sat here Immigration itself is really about white supremacy. Let's just cut to the chase. Immigration has always served to keep America white. They tell you whatever bullshit lie from Operation Wetback. This goes back in history. So
you can watch the full interview up on our channel under the videos tab. We also have clips on Instagram. I got to go take care of my infant son, but I want to give quick shout outs for new members and super chats. Thank you. Cora became a new member. Thank you. Beta Virus, $5. Deny, defend, depose. I do need to do an update on the Luigi Mangione case, so thank you for reminding me. I will have a video on that soon. Tony D, JT Chicago coverage was legendary. My city. Thank you, JT, for the Tony D, for the $2. B-Man, $10 sticker. Thank you, thank you. Tyler gifted 5 Status Coup memberships. Thank you, Tyler. Sunny Bear also gifted 5 Status Coup memberships. Thank you, thank you. KL became a Status Coup YouTube member. Thank you. Nadia, €5. AI is a politico-economic program with pseudo-scientific window dressing. It's just a kitchen sink regression and overfitting statistical fallacies. We've been covering AI here aggressively. I cannot say anything good about it. Certify, new member. Thank you, thank you. Teresa, $10. When is Steve Grumbine coming back? Funny enough, I asked him if he could go live with me today, but he couldn't. So he'll be back. I asked him today, but he couldn't. He was busy. Millennial Diligence became a YouTube member. Thank you, thank you. Brett Boyle became a YouTube member. And thank you, new Status Coup members through the website. Donnie, Tierney, Elmer, Levi, and Rose. You can become a member any time of the day, morning, noon, or night. Please, please support us. Thank you for watching. We have more reporting from Chicago to come out over the next few days. And again, I will be live Saturday from the No Kings protest here in New York City at 11 a.m. Eastern. Have a great night.